This episode of Sudrian Spotlight focuses on the mightiest, most powerful steam locomotive ever to work on the NWR, No.901, Revenge. You might ask, why is there a Garratt living on Sodor? And I'll tell you. Since Cronk and Marron are much higher than Sudbury Junction near Wellsworth, the 4 miles at a ruling gradient of 1 in 45 have through the years been a testing ground for locomotives. Bankers are stationed at Wellsworth specifically for this section. In 1924, the NWR ordered an articulated 280 plus 082 Beyer-Garratt from their works in Gorton to do the work of 2 locos while requiring only a single crew. The design was to utilise the wheels, motion and cylinders from ex-ROD 280s being sold as war surplus, enabling a commonality of components with other NWR locos. For loco crews, the Garratt was hard work. Lack of a mechanical stoker put a huge strain on the firemen. Whilst the enclosed cab was a great help in winter when the cold wind blows in from the Irish Sea, was a nightmare in high summer. However, when compared to Gresley's 6-cylinder Garratt, the NWR example was better able to maintain a head of steam, and occasionally work service trains. Like most NWR goods locos, Revenge was named after a warship built at Barrow, in this case the battleship HMS Revenge of 1915. Revenge toiled away tirelessly for years on the Wellsworth Incline, sometimes known as Gordon's Hill, until 1959 when it was withdrawn and scrapped. As for the model, the sale of the Century by Hattons yielded a supply of cheap ex-GWR ROD 280 locos by Bachmann, the tenders of which ended up on my Woolwich Moguls. More on them later. The chassis found their way onto the Garratt. I had to remount the motors so they sat over the centre of the chassis, thereby enabling the boiler frame to sit over the driving wheels. I've seen a lot of homemade Garratts before and they often make the mistake of having the boiler frame suspended on thin air, whereas if you look at real life examples, often the boiler frame is carried on the rearmost driving wheels. The boiler unit itself was also from Hatton's spare parts department, a victim of Hellion's burnt out motors and broken valve gear from the first production run of the LMS Garratt, which was beset with problems. The engine unit superstructures were mounted on running plates salvaged from Hornby 8Fs I was cutting up for the boilers and cabs, with the bodies made from styrene sheet. The handrails are from markets, and the tank filler lids were salvaged from Great British Locomotives static models. As always, the lining is by Fox Transfers, and the paint is from Halfords, it's the Vauxhall Regatta Blue. Whilst it might not be everyone's cup of tea, I do like a Garratt. I love their utilitarian look, and I've always wanted one. So, by doubling the length of Gordon's Hill from the one that you featured in the books, I found myself justifying a large banking loco to live at Wellsworth. The justification for the railway, in that you could use 1 crew to do the work of 2 locomotives, was the same one used by the LMS, with their 260 and 062 Garratts. Revenge does tend to attract a lot of attention when it's on display. Eventually it's my aim to convert this one to battery power radio control, but it is a great runner, mainly due to having so many pickups. It also needs a bit more weight. It does, however, pull a full train of 16 old coaches up the helix, which is pretty impressive. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more of these, please click on the subscribe icon if you haven't already. Thanks very much again for all your support, and hope to come back with more Sudrian Spotlight soon.